Doesn't mean
So let me get this straight. You don't hate Jews, you just hate the Jews' right to exist in their homeland.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. That's
You're not black. You want me to exist, right?
yeah. So that's one of the worst identity politics arguments. Just because I'm not something, it doesn't make me wrong.
Oh boy, there's a lot of crazy people around there, especially on college campuses, because Hamas supporters don't think with logic. They think with hatred. You know, they've been fed lies for so many years. There's so much propaganda against Jews, so much false propaganda against Israel. These people's heads are not on straight anymore. But I'll tell you a guy whose head is on straight. His name is Charlie Kirk. He's a defender of Israel. He's a defender of the Jewish people. More important, he's a great debater, and he shows you exactly what's going on. He's able to debate these people on stage. And I'm just so happy he's around. Let's listen to Charlie Kirk debating these Hamas sympathizers.
And anti-Semitism.
Then build it out for me.
You don't support the state of Israel doesn't mean.
So let me get this straight. You don't hate Jews, you just hate the Jews' right to exist in their homeland.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. That's
You're not black. You want me to exist, right?
yeah. So that's one of the worst identity politics arguments. Just because I'm not something, it doesn't make me wrong.
No, the issue is that you don't have an argument in place that's not in line with conservative politics.
How so?
Because there is no separation of church and state.
Then why can let me ask you a question. Why can Christians freely practice their religion in Israel, but Jews can't freely practice their religion in the Palestinian Authority?
How are Jews not
practicing it?
What happens if an Israeli citizen goes into a Bethlehem? What happens if a Jew goes into Bethlehem? If a Muslim goes into Jerusalem, they can go to a mosque. That's what happens.
You know what happens at Al-Aqsa? You know what happens?
Al-Aqsa Mosque?
People are turned away because they can't pray in their own place.
Well, hold on a second. They have full access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. I was there myself. I was around 500 Muslims on the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Hold on a second. Jews' heads are cut off in Hebron if they go to Hebron. Jews and Israelis are not allowed in Palestinian Authority. I was in Hebron 3 weeks ago. You know what happened? If a Jew goes to Hebron, their head will get cut off. Okay, so Jews are not allowed in the Temple Mount. You do know that, right?
Yeah, there's no question about this one. I mean, it's really true. Jews are not allowed into, quote, Palestinian Arab towns or villages. You cannot go into Hebron as a Jew without police escort or the army around you. You cannot go into Bethlehem as a Jew. You will be shot. You will be killed. God forbid you'll be beheaded by these people. But there's millions of Muslims that live in Israel. They can go to their mosques. They can go to Al-Aqsa. They can go actually wherever they want to go. It's only the Jews who are not allowed to go into these territories. He's so true. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
Palestinians, Muslims going into Al-Aqsa.
Right. So it's very hotly debated.
No, actually, when I was there, I was praying at Al-Aqsa, and I saw IDF soldiers coming in while I was praying.
Did they stop you? Did they stop you from praying?
They throw tear gas.
No.
Yeah, they didn't stop her from praying, ladies and gentlemen. People start rioting, throwing rocks, throwing pieces of metal, throwing boulders on Jews' heads who are praying down below on the Western Wall. When they start rioting, the Israeli police have to come in. Any democratic society would protect their citizens, Muslim, Jews, Christians, from this type of violence. And by the way, Christians go to Via Dolorosa all the time in the Old City. They walk in, they walk out. They're only able to do that because they feel safe, because Israel is in control, not what these people are saying.
They don't, not the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Did they stop you from praying?
I shouldn't be in fear while
But they don't do what you say they're doing. I'm just telling you, it's not true. But I don't think you're representing reality.
I was literally there.
So let me ask a question.
She wasn't there, that wasn't happening, but she understood that it was happening in other times around that moment.
I was there. You should not be able to prove your religion.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they do not have an answer for this. In fact, they're probably lying, like the PLO, Hamas, Palestinian supporters do all the time. This is a war of lies against the Jewish people. I've been there. People can walk freely around Israel, but there's one place they can't walk into, are Arab cities without the danger of their being shot, murdered, kidnapped. Exactly what you saw Hamas doing on October 7th is what they'll do to you in every single Palestinian village. That's not fair, but that's what's going on.
You should be able, if a Muslim
Okay,
wants
that's
to-
a really interesting point. So Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount because the Muslims don't allow them on the Temple Mount right now. So Jordanian control the Temple Mount.
It was since the Prophet Muhammad. It was there since the Prophet
Oh,
Muhammad.
okay. So do you think? Here's the thing. So do you think Jews should be allowed on the Temple Mount?
It's a
So you don't think it's a Temple Mount? Because if you do, that's the very interesting thing. If you just say it's a Temple Mount, I'm putting you admittedly in a very difficult position because Muslims do not recognize it as a Temple Mount.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Jews are not allowed to pray on the Temple Mount because when the Jordanians ran it from 48 to 67, they forbid Jews from even entering into that neighborhood. It was Jordanian-controlled territory. Now, when Israel took over in 67 until today, there's freedom of worship, freedom of access. That's exactly what's going on. She actually admits what their faults are, how weak their arguments are.
they recognize it as their place of worship, and it's been that way since the beginning.
No, it's been the Temple Mount since King David. Thank you very much. So, I mean, you could say whatever you wanted to say. It's a huge point. It's actually it's one of the biggest inhibitions of peace. I think that Jews and Muslims and Christians should all be allowed to go to the Temple Mount. Right now, Muslims do not allow Jews to go into the Temple Mount. One rabbi is allowed to go in once a year. That's it. That's the treaty. Why is that? How is that fair? Why?
Yeah, it really is not fair, is it? But you're never going to hear that on mainstream media, are you? You're never going to hear the real truth. All it takes is one simple, clear question, because there's so much propaganda against Israel, so much lies. In spite of that, country of 7 million Jews, 2 million Arabs living together, Muslims serving in Israel as ministers, as doctors, as judges, as attorneys. Arabs have tremendous rights in Israel, but can Jews go to Arab countries and be ministers, doctors, lawyers? The answer is absolutely not. Most Jews are forbidden from going into Arab countries and especially praying in their holiest sites that have been there for thousands of years, like Bethlehem and Hebron.